You can order your Godzilla figures at Big Bad Toy Store at the link in the description. Kaiju, Dragon Ball, Pokemon, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews. Hello there, collectors. It's Steven here, and I'm bringing you yet another Godzilla review. And today we're going to be taking a look at NECA's effort at Godzilla 1964. When the prototype was revealed, there were a lot of collectors who immediately said, well, let me just basically say that they said no to this guy. Upon release, however, opinions changed for some. Others are still saying no. With a crowd divided, it's important for videos like these to exist. So, without any further ado, let's take a look to see whether or not this figure is a winner and is worth adding into your collection. And as someone who is in the camp of no to begin with, probably gonna have to say yes. Yes, it is. Initially, there were problems with the 1964 head sculpt or paint or whatever it might be, and it definitely does appear upon the release of this figure that NECA changed something that makes this figure look better. What exactly it is, I'm not quite sure, because comparing it with the promo pictures on the back of the box, at least, it doesn't look like much has changed. What is definitely noticeable on the final product, at least, is that it does look like they added a little bit of guy liner to Godzilla. It does look like there's a little bit of black paint underneath his eyeballs a little bit, and it does look like they changed the position of the pupils. If those small changes were enough to change the overall look of this figure, then congratulations, NECA. You really know how to critically look at your figures and make them look significantly better, because this figure does really capture the essence of the 1964 suit. Not necessarily as much as it appeared in Mothra versus Godzilla. That's the name of the movie. Okay. In Japan, that's what we're really counting here. But more so in his appearance when he fought Ghidorah. That being said, it still looks like a 1964 Godzilla to me. We have very nice paint applications for everything that's going on in the head, whether it's going to be the eyes, whether it's going to be that nice furrowed, thick brow, whether it's going to be the teeth. All of it is looking great. Moving on down to the main body, the sculpted details are nice, but what is rather interesting and sort of clashing is that we sort of have the keloid scarring scales, scutes on the arms and the legs. On the main body, it kind of sort of moves on over to a standard reptilian style scaling. So I'm more specifically talking about the chest and the belly. So that is a bit of a clash design-wise, because Godzilla basically has more so consistent. Yeah, so if you're a stickler for those kind of details, something to really keep an eye on. That may bug you. And I'm just now noticing that while I'm looking at it on the review table, and it's kind of bugging me. Yeah. Anyway, that detail aside, the actual finer details of this Godzilla do look nice, but one of the things about the paint application is that it looks like they kept it relatively simple. It looks like they used essentially 3 different types of gray for the body. One for the, body, one for the claws, and one for the dorsal plates. While that isn't necessarily bad, we are missing some of the finer details that would say the SH Monster Arts would have, such as some of the finer brushings or the noticeable sternum, which are really accentuated and brought out. Not getting those details here. However, some of the details like the dorsal plates look fantastic, and these are the best Godzilla dorsal plates to date on a NECA figure. So, kudos to you. Overall, the details on this Godzilla are great, and if you're kind of on the fence on how this figure looks, I would definitely say lean more so towards the camp of it being good. Alrighty, so Godzilla's articulation, it's actually really good. Didn't think it would be so much, and 1962 Godzilla's was, kind of alright. Nope, this one is awesome. So what do we have? Well, we do have a hinged jaw, opens and closes. Mouth is kind of small to begin with, so to speak, but realistically speaking, it adds a nice bit of value to it, okay? All right, so the head attaches in the neck on a ball joint, and that is actually some decent movement there, right? So we can spin the head around. That's good. Now, here's an issue that I didn't really touch on in the sculpt and paint section. There is a little gap here. The reason for that gap is it gives some nice clearance so this way Godzilla can look up. And when you couple that with the ball joint where the neck plugs into the body at the shoulders, Godzilla can point that neck sort of down and the head up, giving him that sort of signature 1964 sinister Godzilla look, right? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's the whole reasoning as to why that dorsal plate may be missing there. Okay, makes sense. So we have ball jointed shoulders per usual for a Godzilla figure from NECA. We do have hinged elbows along with swivels there. So we effectively have bicep swivel. So we have good arm movement. We can raise and lower Godzilla's arms. We can spin them around. It's all good here. We have swivel hinge wrists. Here's the swivel. Here's the hinge. And then we have hinged fingers. So this way Godzilla can open and close his hands. I don't necessarily think that this adds to any accuracy. I think it makes his hands look a little wonky, but that's okay. We do have a ball jointed ab crunch. So this way we can spin his torso around like so, and we get a nice push down forward like that. So we get a little bit of good movement there. Okay. All right. It's also a double axis or barbell style. So this way you get a ball joint here and a ball joint there. It's seated here and there. So ball joint here, ball joint there, ball joint everywhere. Now for the hips, they are actually on ball joints. And once you heat them up, I used hot water on mine. They actually become usable. Look at that range of movement. Okay, so yes, they are very good. We've come a long way since the 1994 Godzilla, so that's very good. Now for the knees. Historically, the knees on NECA Godzilla figures have never been good. Here we have a nearly full 90-degree bend. Okay? Okay, that's fantastic. Now on the 1962 Godzilla, we had some almost ankle rockers. You're welcome. Yep, all right. So ball jointed ankles, pretty much. They're awesome. So yeah, that's amazing. And ball jointed tail, which likes to pop off. So yes. So you don't really need to worry about the articulation here. For 1964 Godzilla, basically, if you can think of a pose, you can put this in it. And it's so good. Wait till the figure fight. Yeah, this guy's good. Hey, accessories, and we get a beam effect. Yay! Awesome. Now I've been told that this is a repaint of the beam that comes with the Blueberry Burst GMK Godzilla. So I don't have that one, so I'm going to take everybody's word for it. That being said, the paint application on it is very heavy-handed and it's white, not necessarily accurate to the blue that Godzilla is known for, and I don't really know why NECA is doing them white. I get for 1954, but yeah. So the way that it works is there are some folks saying that it doesn't plug into his mouth, but it actually does. If you take a look at the way that it's supposed to plug into his mouth, there is a little tab, and that tab is supposed to be up with the gap being down, and that goes into his mouth. So essentially, if you're taking a look at the beam as I'm showing you, the little flame tip that you would think that is supposed to be going up, that's supposed to be facing down. Hopefully that makes sense. There is a small issue that there's some paint chippage in the part that goes into the mouth, but realistically speaking, you're never going to be seeing that. So yeah, overall, it's a pretty all right effect. Not going to be using it too often, but hey, it's there if you need it. And if you need more effect parts, you know I got videos for you. So now we're going to go ahead and move on over to a size comparison. So this way you can see exactly how big this Godzilla figure is in 6-inch scale Mosugoji. Yeah, looks good. He's actually on the bigger side, so yeah, I guess the size comparison is good for some folks. So buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. Overall, when we're factoring in things like tax and shipping, you're going to probably be looking to spend maybe about $30 on this guy. And you know what? Even if you spend that much, hey, you know what? This is actually going to be worth it. This is definitely, I would say if they maybe even threw in a Mothra egg, let's say, worthy of the right off the bat title of an Ultimate Godzilla figure. They really did a great job on this one, and I can only see maybe better paint apps and maybe just some tightening up of the sculpt in some parts that could really make this figure better. But as it stands, this is probably the best NECA Godzilla figure on the market as of right now. I don't have much else to say aside from it's very good and probably figure of the year material. All right, go ahead and buy it. All right, review's over. Here's the ending. Okay. Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now, you've heard a lot from me. I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.